I totally forgot about the YouTube thing. Completely forgot that I needed to be on a few minutes early because of YouTube. It skipped my mind.
I think we're live now. We're live. We're live now.
Hey, can you see me? Do I need to add some extra lighting around here?
With critical focus.
It's okay. I'm trying to see where. Hold on.
The bigger picture.
I'm trying to see. We're live somewhere, but it doesn't look like it.
Business Express. Brought to you by InterSwitch. Transaction solutions you can depend on.
Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. I'm Ayo, Mairo-Ese, and we are live here for today's edition of Business Express 981. I have Rotus with me. Good morning, Rotus. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, Ayo. Good morning to you, and good morning to Lagos. Hope everybody's doing all right.
Excellent. We are doing all right. If you'd like to join the conversation, please send your message to WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. Or you could tweet at us at Smooth981FM. Use the hashtag Business Express 981. We are live on YouTube, so please go onto YouTube, Smooth981FM Lagos, and you can watch, not just listen. You can also watch and send the link to your friends, around Nigeria and across the world. Rotus, what do you have for us this morning?
The Debt Management Office, what are those numbers? They've released debt figures for December 31st, 2020. So the last update before December was September 2020. Our debt complete, when you add everything up, external debt, states, federal capital territory, it came out to $84.5 billion. That was in September. It's increased by about 2% to $86.3 billion as at December 2020. You convert it to Naira, and as of September, total debt was at 32.2 trillion. Now it's at 32.9 trillion Naira as of December 2020. But here's the interesting thing. When you take a look at the notes on the DMO's website, the note says, what does that note say? CBN official rates of $1 to 381 as at December 31st, 2020 was used for the conversion. So I think some of our listeners know where I'm going with this already. Converting at 381, if you convert $86 billion at 381, you get 32.9 trillion. However, that's the CBN's official rate. If you use the NAFEX rate on the I&E window closed at 409 yesterday. So if you convert at 409, Nigeria's debt goes up. It goes up to 35.3 trillion Naira. But then that's the I&E window. If you use the parallel market rates, and I exchanged USD yesterday, it's at 487. Right, so we're almost pushing 490. If you convert the debt at 487, you get 42 trillion naira. But central bank doesn't want to hear about parallel markets. Federal government says parallel market is not the real market rate, so we'll leave parallel market alone and use the NAFEX rates, I&E window. That's the importers, investors and exporters window, and at 409, you get a debt of 35.3 trillion. So for anyone that quotes 32.9, ask them what exchange rate is being used. And this is, again, the constant issue we have with this exchange rate matter. Because anybody out there now, if you go and try and get foreign exchange, you're going to get the parallel market rates, right? I can't pay for your streaming services, your magazine subscriptions, and so on and so forth. You're not paying at the official exchange rate. In fact, your banks, a subscription cleared my Naira debit card the other day, and it cleared at 420. In fact, between 420 and 422. So if we use what the banks are using, let me do the quick calculation here. If I do 422 times the Nigeria's debts. I don't know what I'll get. I'm sure it's going to be it's somewhere in between the other rates. Let's see now. Times 422. Yeah, so it's in between. It's about 37 trillion. You know, so again, look at the games that we play when we're trying to use this exchange rate matter to figure out how much Nigeria's debt is. And don't forget, this is as at December 31st. So it still hasn't factored in a few other things. You know, I think I'm not sure the IMF loan is even in there. And a number of other matters that we've had to take into account. So so that's the main gist, you know, with respect to how much we're owing public debt. The next administration that gets into power, they're going to have to deal with that debt amount when they get into power in 2023. You know, it's something that's one that we have to continue thinking about. So that's what we have on debt. Your president is I say your president, our president, excuse
our president.
Me. I don't know why I said your president.
You know, they say when a child is doing well, he's the community's child. Or when he's not, he's the mother's child.
He is apparently heading overseas for a medical checkup. He's going to join Bouquet in the UK for a medical. Okay, 36.4. Yeah, 36.4 trillion. Huh?
Rotus and Larry Babala says, why do you say good morning Lagos when you're listened to from all over the world?
That is a good point. In fact, I always say Lagos and everybody else out there. So because Lagos is the primary market, but he's right. Yeah. Good morning world. Good morning world.
Yes. Okay, go on. So our president is set.
Yeah, he's going on a medical checkup. He's leaving. I understand he's leaving. Is it today? Today. He's going for, according to Special Advisor Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina. He's going to first meet with security chiefs in the morning. Yeah, he's leaving today. Yeah, he's heading to London. He's going to be back in the second week of April. So again, this is for a routine medical checkup. Aso Rock has a medical facility on ground. Ambulances, medical staff, they are paid.
And there's a huge allocation, yes, budgetary allocation. Budgeted,
and yet for a routine medical checkup, the president still has to go to the United Kingdom. What happens when what do you need to go to the United Kingdom, Ayo? So you have to buy something. What do you have to buy?
Forks.
Thank you. So you that's FX demand. Now, look, this is like, I remember everybody was going on about Nelson Wike, governor of Rivers State, giving Burna Boy and some other artists 10 million naira each or something. If that money came out of Wike's pockets, that's his business. Good for him. If it's Rivers State that is footing the bill, Rivers State taxpayers, then that's an issue. So it's the same thing here. If this is a personal medical checkup and the president is paying for it out of his own pocket, then that's on him. Good for him. But if the state is paying for this, taxpayers, then it's still an issue. Plus, you have to ask yourself, what's up with our medical facilities and the state of Nigeria's industry right now?
Doctors are said to be going on strike tomorrow. So he's leaving us at a time when our medical, the health sector is not settled, is not stable. And then when you talk about routine medical checkup, are we saying that even for routine medical checkup, he cannot find the, facility, he cannot find appropriate care here in Nigeria? Then number 3, Rotus, what is the impact? I think we should have a monetary analysis of these trips to to London for his medical trips. I don't think he's allowed to, using taxpayers' money to an extent, especially if it is an expert condition that he needs, an expert view, because medical tourism is not just in Nigeria. Other countries go to other countries. However, when it's for a routine medical checkup, what is the cost on taxpayers?
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, he's only one person, so it's just him. But then you add up the cost of flying and the cost of consultations, it adds, services.
But he's not going to travel alone, Rotus. Rotus, he won't travel alone.
Yeah, he's not traveling alone, of course. So there's a cost to it, but he's not the only one. Nigerians generally go overseas for medical tourism. It's part of this heavy FX demand that we talk about. It's not just importing rice and importing milk and so on. It's school fees, medical tourism, and all these other when you add these things up. I have to ask, he's leaving office in about 2 years now. What improvements have been made to Nigeria's healthcare sector in the last 8 years under this administration? What improvements have been made under the education sector to where less people are sending children overseas and putting pressure on our reserves? So these are the kind of questions you have to ask when you hear news like this, that a routine checkup is having him fly all the way to the United Kingdom.
So the impact on healthcare, and I think it will be good for people can testify because we're the ones who use these services. How many people still use, I know for healthcare, the public hospitals are still said to be one of the best, even though they're underfunded, do not have enough.
They don't have lights.
Yes, light. However, for specialists, people would still prefer to go to these hospitals because they still have, they still get funding from the government. However, people have said it's not anywhere near enough.
Nope, it has to be increased. But where are you going to get the funds? So maybe if you were to give up the subsidy on petrol, you could use what you spend, the billions of naira you spend. I think Mele Kyari said it's the equivalent of 130 billion naira a month. 130 billion naira a month can go a long way in procuring medical equipment for certain hospitals. I mean, it's a lot. This is why you don't go around creating states up and down. But that kind of money can go towards those kind of development. So it's a conversation that, I just, again and again, we get on this show, we talk about this stuff, and you just wonder where the material improvements, tangible improvement you can see and touch, where that is when it comes to these sectors. I keep telling you, I see for now, I think I'm going to put one tech story every day on Business Express.
I agree. I'm all for that.
Yeah, because that's the only, that seems to be the only place that we can actually discuss actual improvements that Nigeria is making on the world stage, where we're just, a new payment company funded by Nigeria and is making strides here and there in financial inclusion and so on. That seems to be it, because you get kind of tired talking about how medical sector is just not so. All our doctors they are big. The irony is that we've got some of the best doctors and nurses in the world.
Yes.
They are in the UK workforce, US workforce, but here at home, here we are.
Okay, let's take some comments. Benga Kamu says, Rotus, Buhari going to UK for routine medical checkup brings into stark reality the hypocrisy of government on matters of health and other sectors. What Nigeria taught me is you first. And then Yinku says, Rotus, just read out the 4 seasons of Nigerian currency, DMO windows, I&E window. Okay, what's I&E window? Because so that we don't come.
The investors and exporters window.
And okay, thank you. Bank card rate and black market. How can businesses plan? Who pockets the difference between these rates? No surprises, as it is obvious that they pump money into the black market and allow it to foster. And then Yinka says, but wait, Sanwo-Olu recently opened that nice hospital in Lekki, and the VP even said such an investment is going to end medical tourism. Who's scamming who? You see why Nigeria never took COVID serious? I kept saying, why do you care about us with respect to COVID when even pre-COVID, the healthcare sector was dead? At last tooth, I concluded if you must fall sick, please have malaria, at most typhoid. That's a very valid point. We have these elaborate launch ceremonies, like the one you said yesterday in Gombe.
Yes.
And then, we're still facing the same issues that they're supposed to be addressing. All right, Bengakambu then says, will deregulation of petrol solve all our problems? Are these not the same people to manage the money? So I guess he's talking about
You say you will save, you won't be spending 130 billion naira a month on subsidies. That's one thing. That's the issue. 162 naira is what we're selling at. Mele Kyari says the estimate is about 234. That difference of 72 naira times the estimated 60 million liters a day, that gives you the 130 billion. So at the very least, you save that money that you're spending.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Rotus, we're out of time. Thanks a lot as always. You can find Rotus at Rotan Quotes on Twitter and find us at Smooth981FM on Twitter. Use the hashtag BusinessExpress901 so we can easily track your message. In a few minutes, we'll bring you some information from South Africa tourism. Beyond that, at 7:30, join us for Freshly Pressed 981, where we delve in today's headline stories. Do join us then. Analyst will be joining us at 7:30 a.m.
Express. Brought to you by InterSwitch. Transaction solutions you can depend on.
Thank you all very much for joining today's broadcast. Join us tomorrow morning, same time at 6:30 a.m. for 15 minutes of Business Express.